I'm going to take
Chat.
you back the better part
Chat,
of a
chat, chat.
decade. Back to 2018.
I'm gonna do a little recording here.
This is the behind the
I'm gonna
scenes
do a
look
little
at the season
recording
5 conquest
as
map.
a
While I'm not
reaction to this
expecting the
video.
map to look as good as a game that
I'm
was
gonna
published,
restart this. I'm gonna
Smite
turn my
2
music
has
off.
a serious problem. Now, a few of you are going to sit there and say, the game
I'll just
existing at
pull
all
it
is a
up.
problem. And to that I say, okay buddy, let's go back to the padded room. The nice nurse is waiting for you.
Also, like, if you guys haven't
I'm
seen
sure
this
that
guy, he
if I
makes
ran
really
a
good
poll on the
videos.
people that aren't playing Smite 2 at the moment, there would be a variety of different issues that would come to light. The game is buggy, my favorite character isn't in the game.
Alright.
Why the
Alright,
fuck
alright,
does
alright,
Ganesh aspect hit for
Alright,
1800 damage?
I don't want
All
full screen.
valid to
That's
some
that.
extent or another,
Fudge that.
but in my
Fudge that.
opinion, Smite 2's biggest issue.
Let's start this
Smite
over.
2
This is a little bit of a reaction video to Smite 2 has a problem. For those in chat, we were just kind of watching it, but I decided to do a record. Let me read this message. Okay. Tio put the ads a little far back, and manual ads make everyone leave before even seeing your gameplay. Or talk. I'm just starting though, but personally, I never stay for ads. If they start immediately, I stay here because I was typing all of this to help some. LOL tip. I don't know if you're still here, which I assume you're not since you don't stay for ads. My ads are extremely low, and I run them manually. I mean, I run them automatically because, you know, I don't feel like I need to mess with them. I have them turned down to 30 seconds every it's very minimal because I don't make a lot of money off of ads. So why would I run ads? I like I said, I keep them very low for people that are watching. They're there as just a little bit of like, I've debated on turning them off completely, but they do make like $1 a month or so. So I just keep them on. Anyway, let's get back to the video. King of Bears, really great content creator. He doesn't make a lot of content, but whenever he does, they're kind of bangers, and they really like address the problems that he thinks are in the game right now. Or also does like you should play Smite 2 like over League or like whatever. I've seen one video that he kind of did like a transitional video. So let's do a recording of this really quick. Yeah, let's get into it.
has a serious problem. Now, a few of you are going to sit there and say, the game existing at all is a problem. And to that I say, okay buddy, let's go back to the padded room. The nice nurse is waiting for you. I'm sure that if I ran a poll on the people that aren't playing Smite 2 at the moment, there would be a variety of different issues.
He records
that
a
would
lot
come to
better than
light.
me.
The game is buggy, my favorite character isn't in the game. Why the fuck does Ganesh aspect hit for 1800 damage? All valid to some extent or another, but in my opinion, Smite 2's biggest issue is its presentation. And what exactly do I mean by this? Well, this is the Conquest map. And frankly, I don't think this is really cutting it. And this isn't to say anything about the current meta of the map, because that's its own separate video. Quick disclaimer before I get into it. Do not misconstrue this as me shitting on Smite 2 as a game. In fact, as of recording this, I have 665 hours in Smite 2. But in order for the things we love to get better, and the fact that this game is in a beta, critiquing the things you don't like about the game is healthy. And that means critique, not baby raging about skins. And with that out of...
Yeah, I mean, like, he's completely right. I've already watched the video, but yeah, all the people that are like kind of bitching on social media and just like talking shit about the game are definitely like like why I mean it's pointless. And they're like bitching for no reason, but like it doesn't matter what game you play, there's gonna be complaining about something. I mean, the same shit. I don't know. The same shit happens on other games. It's just, the player base is bigger, so it gets overshadowed.
Out of the way.
And we got an ad.
Take a look at this. While there can be detail to be found around the map, those details tend to be islands in a sea of nothing. My main point of concern is the jungle in particular. Ever since the asset reduction in closed alpha 3, something has always been off about the jungle to me. And while in my last review of the game I kinda came to a conclusion that foliage density was the issue, that doesn't paint the whole picture. When I say that all these elements seem like an island in a sea of nothing, it's because everything is disjointed. Yes, we got environment art for the camps a couple months ago, but these camps don't seem to flow together very well.
Yeah. And I mean, as we know, like, Hyros has been working on these things, but like, it's a lot of time and investment that goes into making a map compared to like a lot of the other smaller details they're working on with, like, you know, player retention and stuff like that. So I mean, these are things that I think they know, but you know, they kind of just need to like you know, get their bearings and just start working on it eventually, because I do think the a big map change or update, or I mean kind of a new map, I guess, it is kind of what everyone needs. And like, as you've seen, you have all these other content creators that are you know, talking about the map and saying how it's bad. Elion with the tweet earlier on. Yeah, I don't think the map is inherently bad to say. Like, I personally like the map. It definitely needs an overhaul. And I think we need to, like, you know, remove a couple things that'll center everything, and then maybe add in like something, you know, that will be good for like team fights and stuff, instead of so much farm that everyone kind of just separates.
Well. In particular, the purple buff, which seems a lot more involved than the others. Let's draw a comparison. I'm going to take you back the better part of a decade, back to 2018. God, I'm fucking old. This is the behind the scenes look at the Season 5 Conquest map. While I'm not expecting the map to look as good as a game that was public for almost 6 years, I found a couple of the things in this video interesting about the design philosophy of this map.
We're making a lot of changes to the jungle to make the paths more narrow and include more twists and turns. The environment is going to have a very different feel that's more enclosed and intimidating, and jungle fog is making its return to just add to the tension of being in the jungle.
When players were going from lane to lane, it would be a lot more of a dangerous area. So we wanted to also create a forest that was a little bit more expanded onto the lore and the universe of Smite.
You're going to see complete...
And I'm just gonna be frank. What happened? What happened to this design philosophy? It seems that from this point, they actually carried it on into the future maps of Smite 1, but why not into Smite 2? Look, I'm no artist, I'm just trying to give a layman's perspective, but let me ask this. What is this map trying to portray? Not from a gameplay perspective, but from an artistic perspective. Why is the fire giant pit a volcanic monolith in a sea of grass? Why does the purple buff have random spooky trees that don't fit with the rest of the map? Why is the jungle so clear and open? In its current state, this map looks less like a battleground of the gods and more like a LARP in the woods. And I know
LARP in
I'm
the
making
woods
this
is
seem a little
crazy.
more knee-jerk than it needs to be. Considering the dire state of the closed alphas, the game needed to get better. And I'm pretty sure general environment improvements were pretty low on that long list of priorities.
Yeah, I mean, the map in general, like, at least the feel and the look of it has definitely gotten better. But yeah, it's like really open in some spots where it doesn't need to be. Like the density that he talked about in the beginning of the video. He has another video out that talks about the like the tree density and like the kind of feel and the lighting. But there's definitely like some issues that need to like go in, like be addressed. But you know, right now they're kind of just wanting to push it off and work on some other things, or maybe they are working on it. We don't know.
But as time goes on and gameplay gets better at a rapid pace, stuff like this starts to make its way to the light. To highlight a little bit of this missing design philosophy, I decided to take a stroll through the current Smite 1 map. As you can see, while the geometry is dated and simple, there is a lot more detail and little Easter eggs to find. Look, I'm not gonna sit here and glaze the bubble trees as if they are the greatest thing ever. God damn. but as I've said in the past, they add to the jungle experience. Another cool little detail that you see on the solo side of the map is that as you get closer to the industrial fire giant,
Yeah, what I like about this guy's videos is he's fairly funny. He also streams on Twitch and you know, makes a little bit of content. So catch a stream if he's playing Smite 2 all the time, every night, I think.
pit, there is far less foliage and grass. This gives the impression that this was intentionally cleared out to build this giant structure for the fire giant. Alternatively, on the opposite side of the map, you can find pockets of gold that reach far beyond the Gold Fury's pit. Smashed up crates, carts, and a shipwreck on the side of the map can also suggest that the Gold Fury had been plundering its gold from these sources. And much like the purple buff in Smite
Plundering.
2, the purple buff here is overgrown. However, the overgrown vines fit far better into the environment. Am I just spitting 9th grade English teacher analysis
Yeah, the spooky trees around the Gold Fury pit, in my opinion, are a little weird. Like, they don't really fit the aesthetic.
at this? Okay, maybe. For all I know, none of this could have been intended and was just a happy accident. But all these tiny glints of detail let the mind run a little, and it contributes immensely to the immersion that one gets playing a standard Conquest game. Immersion in my Ninja Turtle Avatar Stranger Things game? Yes, now shut up. Now, can some of these things be remedied with the current art set of the map? I would argue yes, but with some caveats. First off, it has been mentioned in the past that the lighting needs to be updated. Second, new versions of trees need to be added that have overhangs that block off certain sight lines of the jungle. As shown, this has been done to success in the past, and as long as it's not overdone like it
And the trees in Smite 1 were infinitely better than they were in Smite 2. Like, this looks really good. Smite 2 trees are kind of just like sticks that go up into the air and they don't really add a whole lot to what the map is and what it does. But, as I've said, like, I think they're still learning a lot with like, they all worked on UE3 for so long. Like, I'm sure the transition is probably pretty hard. But I don't know. It's a lot more extensive. There's a lot that goes into it.
was in the alpha weekend, it will have the same effect of visual clarity that Smite 1 had. And third, new
didn't mean to do
assets
that.
may need to be created to tell those little stories on each side of the map. Little knickknacks like barrels and crates. Warning, incredibly shitty Photoshop incoming. Don't take these images as completely serious, but more of an illustration of what I'm trying to get at. When boiled down to its very basic parts, what I want is for the jungle to feel more like the jungle did in the past. Darker and narrower towards the bases, but
Hold
more
on,
to
let's look
feel
at this
more
again.
like the
Chat. Do you want the jungle to look like this? Let me know in the comments below. Like, comment, subscribe.
jungle did in the past. Darker and narrower towards the bases, but more open when it comes to the objectives, as obviously that's when you need
He wants the fog back. Do you guys want the fog back? I like the fog, but like they said it messes with the lighting. So I like the fog, and I like really not being able to see far in the jungle, in my opinion. Like, I don't think you should be able to see straight through the jungle, like as far as you can see. But that's just how Smite has always kind of done it.
the most visual clarity. Enemies at a distance already disappear when they're in the jungle, but it's a lot more uncanny when there's no fog of war to obscure them. Considering the discourse
Yeah, they have said that the fog really affects lighting in this game. Like, it just adds like a haze and like messes with lighting like really bad. So I'm not sure what they're gonna do about that. They need to find a way to add fog without like, adding fog, I guess. I don't know.
around the mechanics of the map and the amount of farm present, I can understand if these things get pushed back further a little bit. But I'm almost certain that a refresher on the way that the Conquest map looks will be a lot more inviting to new players in the future. From my experience,
New players in the future, yes, but immediate new players aren't jumping straight into Conquest, and I don't think it's really affecting the new player retention.
in the past couple of months, I've been helping 4 new players play the game.
Like, the game is really fun, in my opinion. Like, really fun. So, like, I mean, the map will definitely help, like, create a more competitive and, like, more, like, a better experience. but I don't think it affects new players. Yeah.
And they think that the Conquest map is easily the worst looking game. Joust is the best in their opinion, but Conquest, it just ain't cutting it.
Joust
And
does
this is
look really
probably
nice.
because the Joust map actually does follow that design philosophy of
It's got a
telling story.
huge theme.
Everything present in the behind the scenes look is present in the Joust map, except for the Fog of War. But that's because it doesn't really fit. And minus the terrible Season 7 Joust map, didn't exist. But this is all just what I think. I welcome a discourse on the topic in the comment section of this video. Do you agree?
Make sure you
Disagree?
subscribe to
Do
this
you
guy.
have
He's
different
got some
ideas
really
on
good
how the map
content.
should look?
I
Is
talked to
there
him on
anything
stream.
that
He
you
said
would
he
add to
might
my
have a couple of
suggestions?
videos
And on the
coming.
off chance
He's
that
got some
you're a
ideas,
developer of
but
the
he hasn't
game
started
and you
working
see
on them.
this
He's really
video,
busy, so
provide as much
we'll see.
insight as you're legally allowed to give. I would love to know what goes into this. I love Smite 2. In fact, I think that it's better than Smite 1 in a lot of ways, but in this way, it's clearly lacking. I have no doubts that it'll get better in the future. All I'm asking is that some of us that think that the map is looking a little barren are thrown a little bit of a bone.
Yeah, so let me know what you guys think. I wholeheartedly agree with most of what he said. There's a couple things where I think like I'm not stressed about it. Maybe I don't know if that's I don't know. It's not that I don't think it's a huge problem. I think it's just a problem that needs to be solved eventually. Yeah. Anyway. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you guys are thinking in the comments. And I'll catch you in the next video. We have a podcast dropping tomorrow, and I would love to see you guys stop by. Peace.